speak to the customer, gather a bit of information from the customer about driving style, how they use the car, short journeys, etc. Before I get to this stage, scan the vehicle, gather fault codes. You'll see fault codes, low boost or EGR flow, faults related to that. Once I get that information, I take the car a road test, look at the data. I'm looking for airflow. So if there's blockage there, you'll get a low airflow. You'll see a deviation in boost. So your desired boost could be 2,400 full boost. That would be the desired. Your actual might be 1,800. So there's an issue there that could be relating to sticky turbo vanes or again airflow through the engine. Once I know I've got the information I need, it's a case of just taking off the pipe and having a look inside the intake and seeing what the carbon's like inside there. If it's really heavily carboned, after the professionalism of yesterday, we've got me getting my phone out and showing pictures. So if you're looking at carbon as much as that, where you're taking
just from EGR?
Yeah, from intake system. If it's as heavily carboned as that, I would be taking the manifold off, cleaning out the majority of that carbon, because the chemical is softening up the carbon, and then you're flushing it through the engine. So if it's that amount, you don't want that going through the engine and as a knock-on effect, blocking DPFs, stuff like that. So clean the majority out. Also, if EGRs are sticking, you're taking EGR off to clean it. Make sure it's working. Before you start the process, disconnect the EGR, make sure it's blocked off so that the chemicals aren't going back through for a second burn. As an after of this, during the process, the chemical can drain down into the sump past the piston ring. So I would always recommend an oil change as well. So you're then using a JLM engine flush, changing oil. Vehicles that haven't got any running problems, I would recommend this as a service product. If the car's done 50,000–60,000 miles, customers in for a service, why wait till the carbon's at a stage where it's really heavy? Get the product in and clean it before the fault occurs. And then, because you're changing oil anyway, you're doing the service, so use it as a preventative service tool as well. I'm charging a clean out at an intake clean £150 plus VAT.
180 euros.
Yeah, and then your oil change is on top of that as well. So it's a good earner there for the time it takes. So two-step process. Step one, easily labelled, so you see it there.
Yeah. Just talk about if you do it as a preventative.
Alright, okay.
The customers go, well, I haven't got any problems. But if you do it as a preventative, can you actually demonstrate that then their engine's running better as a result, even though they didn't know?
There is Darren and the guys at Avon Tuning had a Volkswagen Golf, 85,000 miles, something like that. No running problems, no check engine lights on, anything like that. They measured the dyno of the car prior to the clean. It was 95 brake horsepower, or 97 it was, sorry. The car stock from the factory was 105 bhp. After they'd done the clean, they dynoed it again, and the car was 104.
Right.
So returned it to almost stock. But in that as well, the power delivery was more stable. It wasn't up and down, so it did have an effect. So that's good. So stage 1 in, screw the bottle on, make sure it's nipped up nice and tight. Make sure the EGR valve is disconnected or blocked off. You've got your adapter there, comes in 2 sizes. So if it's a smaller intake on the BMW, stuff like that, it's tucked away down, so you can get that in there. Larger ones just click in. Push the hose on. Start the engine, please. So you've got the suction of the engine. Again, if your EGR valve is stuck open, you'll have a low suction there. So that again is leading you to indications you've got issues with that. Also, if the valves are heavily carboned up and not seating properly, you'll have low suction as well. So just stick it on. The engine will have the suction effect there to hold it in place. If it isn't sucking quite as good as it should, just increase the rev slightly, 1000 RPM, 1200, just to get the suction you require. I should mention before I go on, some vehicles, Nissan Qashqais, Renaults, if you've got the intake system disconnected, the car won't start. So just disconnect the mass airflow sensor, and it allows the vehicle to start. Also, you're going directly into the intake system, so you're bypassing the intercooler. You don't want to be going before the intercooler, because the chemical will just gather in the intercooler, and then when you go out and road test, it'll suck it all through. So directly into the manifold. Push fit on 2 valves on the bottle. First valve pressurises the bottle. Second valve is your chemical flow coming through. So on my tool in my own workshop, I have 2 marks on the hose, 12 centimetres apart. When you open this valve here, you want the flow to be 10 seconds to travel that 12 centimetres. So it's a nice steady flow. You just open the valve up, you'll see it starting to come through. So at that stage, I'll just have my phone, the stopwatch, and just 10 seconds look at the flow. Once I get the correct flow, sit back and relax. I just keep an eye on the flow. You can. I just heard the rev change. Yeah. So it's probably going a bit too fast. So just nip the valve back a touch, adjust it right, and when you're working in the workshop, you can leave that to go away on its own. You can get on with other work. So you're not. It takes about 35 minutes for this first process to go through. If you're not standing doing nothing for 35 minutes, you can get on with other work in the workshop. So your guys aren't standing idle, you know. You don't want them to be standing just doing nothing. I'll always have my diagnostic tool connected to the vehicle during the process. I'll be looking at engine coolant temperature just to make sure the vehicle's not overheating, exhaust temperatures, just to make sure the DPF isn't getting too hot. And just keep an eye out. If you're working on something else, you can listen, you can hear the engine note. If the flow's going too fast, if you open it right up, the flow's going too fast, the engine will start to labour. So just keep an eye on the flow going through, just adjusting it to suit, basically. As I say, this process takes 35 minutes to run through. During this process, if it's heavily carboned up, the chemicals softening the carbon. And the second stage is flushing the carbon through. So if it's really heavy, that carbon is just going through the engine. So you don't want that, because you've got a knock-on effect of blocking the DPF, stuff like that. If the engine's not too bad, but you're just cleaning it after you've knocked out the majority of the carbon, I have noticed this having a good effect on the DPF, bringing the DPF pressures down as well, just as a knock-on cleaning effect. So it's not intended for that purpose, but
yeah. So when you finish this two-step process, you clean this out with water like the other one?
No. Or the bottle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Wash it out with water.
just clean it out. Yeah.
What about the hose?
Just to stop. I've never cleaned my hose out. Didn't sound quite right, but there we go.
Oh, okay, so it doesn't crystallise inside? Or
No, I just make sure the bottle's emptied. I store them upside down.
Yeah.
So
drains out.
Yeah.
And is it safe to touch? Like.
No, wear gloves.
Yeah, you'll be wearing.
Yeah. There will be a.
Take the skin off sort of stuff, is it? Or
Yeah, there's nothing on the bottle, but no, I've had it in my hands, but it's always recommended to health and safety, you know, wear the wear the gloves. I always wear gloves in my own workshop, so I'm gonna get my hands dirty today. But yeah, it's just a case of keeping the flow right, making sure it's coming through. I have got some pictures on my phone before and after, so obviously you want to get rid of the heavy carbon build-up, but also this was a Volkswagen Passat. You can see the carbon build-up on the valves there, and then after
in through the air intake.
that's the inlet manifold off.
You took out all intake?
Took the manifold off to clean.
So just not only from EGR but from old intake.
Yeah.
What you can reach.
So obviously you can't get down into the valves easily. So this is where the cleaning comes in. Stage one, softening up the carbon on the valves. Stage two is flushing it through.
So when it's so dirty, you recommend to clean it mechanically, not the chemical.
Yeah, if you've got carbon like that, you don't want that going through the engine. So clean that out first before you go through this process.
So you really just want surface carbon, like not big bulky chunks of it.
The carbon will be somewhere be soft after the process, so it's not going to like cause any mechanical damage, but it's just going to go through the exhaust.
It's like washing a car. If your car's covered in mud, you hose the mud off before you get the sponge off it.
So you see EGR valves, when they're heavy like that, they can be sticking. So if the EGR valve's not closing properly, even a small air gap, you're not getting the suction, you're not getting the proper airflow, you're getting a dirty burn, leads to more carbon, so it just builds up in the system. So I'd be taking that EGR valve off, cleaning it prior to doing this. It's only going to get worse, so why wait till it gets worse? Just clean it, and you can see the good cleaning effect it has somewhere on like throttle bodies and stuff like that, because most kind of modern vehicles, the throttle body is right at the manifold, so you're hitting the throttle body directly, or the throttle flap. So you can see the flow there slowed right down, so you're just turning the valve to speed up the flow. It could be something they could look at as maybe having a set regulator, so the flow is set. That'd be my idea. It might be something to mention to some of the JLM guys, but
because it's the same rate on every vehicle. I guess it depends on how much suction you get.
Yeah.
So if that's low suction, you have to open it a bit more to maintain a decent flow rate.
Yeah, but you're still setting it at 10 seconds over 12 centimetres, so the flow rate is going to be the same.
Right.
So it's still 10 seconds over 12 centimetres.
Yeah.
So this, as I say, this process takes 35 minutes, so we'll just stop it there, you get the gist of it.
Yeah.
Or we can sit in the bar if you want.
Yeah.
Come back. You just turn the vehicle off. I had the same problem. Steering wheel's on the wrong side, so so obviously just hold that, and because it just drops down. So stage one, the bottle will be empty after 35 minutes. Just watch when you're unscrewing it, because there will be pressure still in there. So it's okay when the bottle's empty, but should be okay. Is the compressor on?
Sorry?
Is the compressor on?
Should.
Because there was no.
Oh, then you haven't.
Oh, did you take it off? All right, okay. Teamwork. Just make sure you've got the airline connected. But you can see the flow. That's just the suction of the engine pulling the chemical through. So after the first stages went through, turn the engine off, leave it for 5 minutes. The chemical residue will be in the intake system there. Just allow it that 5 minutes to soak into the carbon, softening it up. Thank you.
Stage two.
Once that 5 minutes is up, just stage two into the bottle and screw it on. Nip it up and connect the airline. There we go. Pressure this time. Just make sure the valve is closed. That valve's closed before you connect it. Same as before. Flick it on, get the suction. You want to have a feel at the suction of it. Do you want to try it? No?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
So just try and pull it away.
Just pull it away, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's quite powerful. Yeah.
Nobody else? No takers? So, same as before, open the valve. Again, 10 seconds over 12 centimetres. I've got 2 marks on my hose in my own workshop, 2 paint marks. Just open the valve up. It's coming through a lot faster now. So you can hear the engine note changing. You just want to have a nice steady flow.
Any tricks to try? It's a pretty simple process by the looks of it.
You're just making sure.
Where are the marks? There?
No, they're not on this one.
Oh, okay.
I just measured 12 centimetres and just put 10 seconds over 12 seconds. So you can see the bubbles there. Yeah, that's too fast. So you want to just keep adjusting the valve there to get that flow right. So you can see it slowing up there now. See the flow. So
if it's slower, it's no problem. It may be better.
If it's going slower, it's just going to take longer to do the process. The chemical's still going in. It's not going to be a bad thing. It's just time at the end of the day.
I was testing it myself, my car at home, for 35 minutes, one liquid. For 35 minutes.
One of these?
Yes.
Yeah. Just, I've done it myself. You're just wanting the time for the chemical to make sure it's getting to where it should be getting. If it's going through too fast,
it was quite hard to get there because it was very short pipe there, and it was difficult to. Volkswagen Caddy was 14.
What, sorry?
Volkswagen Caddy.
All right.
It's very difficult to get there in the section, you know.
Yeah. Is that down here?
Yeah, it's here and very short, very short. Yeah.
If the suction isn't working well, just take the revs up slightly, maybe 1000 RPM, and that'll give you more suction. So this stage is just the first stage is softening up the carbon. Second stage is just washing that off, flushing it off.
Yeah, but I was wondering, when there's so much dirt there inside, so this dirt goes into the exhaust and maybe it can stack into the DPF.
Yeah.
Do you have experience? Would it happen something, or is the pressure raised up?
Yeah. During this process, I've done this process without doing any DPF clean. The car's not had any DPF issues. During the process, you will see, if you're looking at live data, you will see the pressure going up to begin with. But once you've done
going up,
the pressure is going up. But after you road test the vehicle, the pressure drops right down.
Because I also customers, because we are selling it and asking, okay, where goes the dirt? You know, it's cannot.
This has a cleaning effect on the DPF as well. It's not intended for that purpose, but because the carbon's soft, the chemical is going through and it's in the exhaust. It's softening up the carbon in the DPF also. And then when you take the car a road test, that carbon's burning off easily.
Okay, because carbon is melted to the.
It softens, and so it just comes through. It's so it does have a cleaning effect on the DPF also.
So
it's not intended for that purpose, but because I'm monitoring the live data during the process, I know what the DPF pressure is prior to the clean. So as a knock-on effect, it has reduced the pressure in the DPF also.
So it's not necessary to do, for example, manual run regeneration? It's enough the road test?
No. Part of the group, we would always recommend not carrying out forced regenerations. If there's no faults on the vehicle, then the car should be regenerating on its own accord. So if you're doing forced regenerations, we see guys coming from other workshops that have done maybe 2 or 3 forced regenerations consecutively, and that's too much for the DPF, and it damages the DPF.
What, when it's a forced or
Yeah, yeah.
Why? So it should have, well.
If the pressure's too high within the DPF and you do a forced regeneration, because the flow of the exhaust isn't good, the heat builds up.
Actually, it's for nothing because.
And the heat builds up and it can damage the DPF. So before you do any forced regenerations, you must know the DPF is in a good enough state to be able to handle.
Yeah, because we also discussed one guy in the garage before the regeneration. The car was running 20 minutes for 3,000. It was crazy.
Yeah. Can I just get a time check? Time check. 11, half an hour to go.
Harry, let me take a picture.
Ah, okay, cool.
Can I take a picture? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So this second stage takes about 40 minutes, 45 minutes. There's slightly more liquid to go through.
So when you said you charge 150,
150.
does that include the liquids or liquids on top?
That includes the liquids. But also, after I've done that, I'll be selling a JLM engine flush and oil change. So there's more, and then also oil and filter. You're looking at air filters, so you're changing air filters, stuff like that. Also, after the process, you're speaking to the customer about aftercare. So you've got a chance to sell aftercare products, catalyst cleaner. What we was it yourself mentioned about bundling and selling as a? Somebody mentioned it yesterday.
Yeah, bundling it.
Bundle it and selling it as a. We've done that in the past. After I do a DPF clean and speak to the customer, I've seen me selling a whole box of DPF Regen Plus to the customer as a preventative measure. I've also had the Regen Plus. If the car is going to continuously get used town driving and not give the DPF a chance to regenerate, that's actually held the pressure down long term. So it's a good product. So, as I say, anybody any questions? No? Okay. As I say, this process is 40 minutes. You're back and forth, just checking the flow rate.
The whole process is 40 minutes?
No, the second process. The second process is 40 minutes. First process is 35 minutes. Obviously, if your flow, keep checking it, make sure it's about the 10 seconds between the 12 centimetres. If it's slower, then it's obviously going to take longer to complete. I was saying about checking the data before, like boost pressures, stuff like that. We have seen vehicle with sticky turbo vanes. The clean process has had good effect on that. Yeah. Obviously, if it's too bad, then it's too bad. But we have seen cars with.
So you use the turbo clean as well? The can of turbo clean?
I've not. No.
So Darren doesn't recommend that?
He's not.
Pushed it?
He's not pushed it to me. He has had them in stock just for trials and stuff like that. A couple of the guys on the network have used them and have had results from them. So it's not a bad product, but I've just not had a need for it myself. If you're using this as a service item, sorry. If you're using this as a service item also as a preventative measure, you're not going to have issues with sticky vanes and stuff like that in your turbo. So, but somebody was asking me earlier on how often would I do that. I wouldn't say it's needed every year. If the car's coming into you for the first time, done 60,000-70,000 miles and it's not got any issues, customers want it serviced, sell it to the customer as a preventative measure. And then also you're selling on your in-tank cleaners and stuff like that, again, preventative. So it's really the key, but it's trying to sell that preventative measure to the customer can sometimes be hard. Generally people wait until their car's running crap.
But, they'll think you go to the dentist in 6 months or whatever to avoid having your teeth pulled.
Exactly, good analogy.
Avoid the pain.
I'll use that in the next group.
Yeah.